here goes the first question for the coach. Coach, what would be your approach like for this upcoming game?
To try and get better and build on what we've done so far this tournament. We spoke about picking up from where we left off at the Champions League, both results and performance-wise, and I certainly felt in the first 3 games that we did that. So we put ourselves in a strong position in the group to be able to make sure we managed our group in the final game and to give players opportunities to play and make sure we arrived into the quarterfinals with no suspensions and potential injuries, which I'm pleased to say we haven't. So it's about now getting better. This is going to be a good game for us against a very strong ISL team, but one we're looking forward to. And again, it's nice in what is still part of a pre-season for us to have these competitive games, whilst also trying to be as successful as you can within this tournament itself.
Okay. Something on the similar lines, coach. How important has been Durand, or how helpful has been Durand when it comes to your pre-season preparations for the ISL?
I think the extension of the season is great because players want to play games, and it gives them an opportunity to showcase what they can do within those games. In an ISL season, it's been 20 games. We knew that we'd get 4 competitive games as well. Now again, we can look at it 2 ways, of which we have. Yes, this is pre-season still for us because we've only been back in for 6 weeks, and we can use that as an opportunity to get ready for the ISL. But I also have a very hungry playing group and a very hungry staff and fan base that also want success and want us to play well and do well within any competition that we take part in, whether that was Champions League, the Durand Cup, or the ISL itself. So we're trying to balance up both of those needs. This is the oldest competition in India and in Asia, so I don't want to disrespect that neither. And I think you can see, certainly in the team selections that we've put out in the 4 games and the way that we've tried to approach this competition itself, we've tried to put ourselves in the best position that we can to be as successful and progress as far as we can.
Coach, question from Simon Ruha from the Sports Era. Coach, the Islanders and the group stage with a loss against East Bengal. What are the areas you hope to improve in that game?
Yeah, like I said, it was more that game for us. We knew we had qualified for the quarterfinals, so it was about trying a few different things out, which we did in the game. And the big thing for me was making sure that we got minutes into our first team players, whilst also making sure that we came through that game with no suspensions to carry into the quarterfinals. We had 5 players on yellow cards. We picked up a couple of bookings in that last game itself, but none that will rule any of our players out going in. And we were managing a couple of niggles within the group. So yes, the result wasn't one we wanted, and isn't one as a club that we look to obviously come away with. But again, overall in the way we played, I was happy with. Obviously there were some mistakes within the game that cost opportunities and goals, which affects the result. But it's about making sure we look across the 4 games, not just an isolated 1 game. And I'm happy across the 4 games, bearing in mind our last game wasn't until the 27th of April. To come back in and play some of the football and have the fitness levels that we've shown through 4 games rather than just 1, I'm very happy with.
A question for Amey. You've been performing well, strong performances in this Cricket Cup. So, how has your overall experience been in this tournament?
Yeah, it's been a good experience, and we are still learning. We're getting better game by game. I need to improve a lot more, and that we need to showcase more of what we did in the AFC, and we need to play our style of football more. So we're getting better and better, and we'll showcase much better football in the next game.
Perfect. Well, we have a couple of new faces joining in. So for them, if you have any questions for the coach or for Amey, please drop it down in the chat box directly to me, and I'll be asking them on behalf of you. And you have to mention your full name and name of your publication. So we need to go. A question for coach from Rajdeep Saha from the Bridge. What is your analysis of Chennaiyin FC and their performance so far?
I can answer that. We flew, so my assistant coach Hiroshi Miyazawa and myself, we flew to Manipur to watch their final game, their final group game. So we've obviously done a lot of work and watch them. A new coach, obviously new signings. We're trying to get our head around and understand how they are playing and what they are doing. We've tried to do as much as we can to prepare ourselves for what we think we may face. But we travelled to Manipur to watch that game, and we know we're going to come up against a very tough team who have been well put together. I think their recruitment has been excellent. Obviously, the coach is new to the league, but has his own ideas on how he wants to play. But we've done as much as we can to try and highlight areas where we think they're strong, where we can nullify, and we've also highlighted some areas where we feel we can take some advantages of as well. So, just talking about the Manipur trip, I think the game itself was very good, but in terms of the hosting of that event, we arrived an hour before, and there was the closing ceremony, I think, for the group stages, and the way that it was hosted, the atmosphere within the stadium, it was a sellout, but also the event itself, how it was managed and how it was put together, was a wonderful thing to have been at and to have seen and be part of, especially in the different parts of the country that certainly we don't get the opportunity to visit very often.
Coach, something that's on your mind. You went to Imphal to watch that match. So whether the pitch in Imphal is different and in Calcutta is different. So you've already been in Calcutta, so will that be an advantage to your side?
I think we went to Dubai for 3 weeks before coming here, so that was a lot hotter than Calcutta. So we prepared as well as we could with the heat and the humidity that we had in Dubai, which was probably 5 to 10 degrees warmer than it is here. So we done that for a purpose, and that was to make sure we prepared our players for what they were going to come into. Yes, it was especially we only spent 24 hours in Manipur, but it was a little bit cooler. But I'm sure the work that, within clubs now, you have excellent staff across multiple environments, and sports science is obviously a key one of those. I'm sure that Chennai have done the work that they need to do to adapt and be fit. So yes, the heat plays a part, but I think there's bigger things at play in terms of how you approach games and the types of players that you have within those games.
Coach, another question for you. It's from Vitan Basu from News18.com. Coach, when can we see Motada fall in action? A few words on the combination of Mumbai City's other international stars in the Durand so far.
Yes, I'm happy to say that both Motada Fall and Roland Borges will both make the matchday squad tomorrow. I won't share with you whether they will start or what part they may play in the game. But Motada was away. He was welcoming in a new family member to his group. So he spent some time away from us and joined us a little bit later. So he's had a week now with us training, and we need to obviously make sure he was in a good condition, which he certainly is. So to come back into our group and complete our family here. And Roland, I can't speak highly enough of. To lose Roland as early as we did last year, a player that's very influential, not only on the pitch, you see that in the side that won the double the year before, but also someone off the pitch that is very much a leader within our group. But to lose him from our group last year was a big miss. I spoke earlier in press conferences around, he will almost be a new signing for us. For him to come back in and add both his experience, his quality and his leadership skills to our group, it really strengthens us as a team. So to welcome both of those players back into our group from tomorrow onwards is something I'm really looking forward to. In terms of the other four, I've been very happy. Obviously, Greg, the way Greg plays, we've seen, he's a very exciting player with the ball especially. Roston is a new addition from Australia, and he brings across some really experiences of winning trophies and further leadership skills. Diaz, was an excellent signing for us, a late signing but an excellent signing, and the goal he scored against ATK and the work rate he gives us out of possession is very good. And of course, Alberto Nogueira, I thought was an integral part of Goa in the last 2 seasons, and brings something different to us in our midfield that really helps link us together from back to front.
Great. Amay, a question for you. After this Durand Cup, how fit do you feel? Because it's a pre-season, it's all about fitness, it's all about getting the number of matches. So how do you feel at this moment?
Yeah, as a player, it is very important to get in those match minutes, and it's very important for us to get ready for the season ahead, the ISL season, and it's as a team to get together and to get so many games, competitive games, is very important. It helps us perform better, and it is very good for us to keep in shape for the upcoming season.
Question for you, Coach, from Victic Montel from the Football Mob. Shanti and Stewart are among the top scorers of the Durand Cup so far. How do you think they will make the difference in the knockouts?
Both of those players, we obviously have recruited the players that we have to add to what is a good team from last season. Chante we brought in January of last year because the way we want to play, we look at players within other teams if we don't have it within our own, and if they fit the player profiles that will help make us better in how we want to play. Of course, we look to recruit if we can, and Chante was one we highlighted very early of last season, so we brought him in January. It's taken him some time to understand how we want to play, and he certainly showed really good signs of that at the Champions League. And the one missing part to his game that we really wanted to emphasise and for him to really come out, especially this season, is now adding not only his link-up play and his ability with the ball, but it's now his end product. It's his goals, it's his assists, it's the excitement he shows in the build-up to be able to finish off those moves. So to see him currently sitting as leading goal scorer, but also creating the chances he is for others, that's a wonderful thing for him right now, but it's important that he continues that, not only in this tournament, but into the season. For Greg, we know what Greg can do. He showed that consistently last year with Jamshedpur, 10 goals, 10 assists. He is a very exciting player, not just for us. He offers a lot of different ways that we can play. But I think when we get the fans back in the stadium, he's a very exciting player because he makes things happen out of nothing. And to have those types of players in Indian football especially, it's very exciting. Firstly, to be able to coach, secondly, for the players within the group. But I think when the fans see that and see that live in the stadiums as well, of course, with others surrounding them, they're two very exciting players. I'm very happy to have here.
Okay. Coach, last question of the session. It's from Anush from Football India. Coach, Pereira is a very different kind of striker than Igor Anglo, whom you had last season. Does that cause any difference in the style of play?
Yeah, I think Igor has shown in this league, he's a wonderful finisher. I think some of the goals he scored for us last year, I still look back at those goals and wonder how he managed to finish some of them, because as a finisher inside the box, he was lethal. I think 1 in every 3 shots on target he scored. So as a finisher, a wonderful finisher. Obviously with bringing Greg in this year, well, we got him early, and the benefit and beauty of bringing somebody like Greg Stewart here is not only can he play as a bit of a deeper striker or an attacking midfielder if you like, but we know Greg can also play as a 9 or as a forward in that role, and we know that he has the finishing ability and skills that Igor certainly did. What we wanted was to bring someone in that would complement that, not to bring someone in that was the same. And so Diaz is a very good finisher, but he also offers something different to Greg and to Igor, that I think whether we wanted to play one or the other, or if we wanted to play both at the same time, they would complement each other, but they would also complement our team. And I think there was a goal in our first game against the Navy where that's already started to show, where I think the ball was linked into Diaz and the link-up play with him and Greg was very clear to see, and it resulted in our first goal. So yes, wonderful. Igor's a wonderful player, and I hope he arrives back into this league somewhere this year. But otherwise, I'm very happy with obviously Diaz and the link-up play he has and adds to our team.
My question for you: any message for the fans back at home?
Our message for now is hopefully we get back the Durand Cup trophy back home and see the fans during the first home game with the trophy.
I'm sure they'll be happy to get that. We just got one last question for you, Coach. So ahead of this big and important match, how's the mood in dressing room right now? How are the players feeling? How are you feeling?
I'm excited. I've said this, when you go into tournament football, with again, Champions League is the same. We don't change our approach to how we want to do things, whether it's in the league or it's the group stages to this competition or knockouts football. We've got a way that we operate on and off the field. We like to think our standards are very high, and what we ask of the players and the staff here is very consistent. So that approach doesn't change regardless of whether we're playing an I-League side, the Navy, or a quarterfinals against Chennai. So there are expectations on what we do and how we do it here. And I'm convinced, I've seen it in a high performance sport long enough now, that if you can remain consistent to those high standards, that more often than not, you tend to do okay and you tend to do well. And you hope that if you do well, the results come with you.
Perfect. We'll wrap this session up. Thank you, Amar, for attending this PMAS press conference. Thank you for your time.